we need to talk Spider-Man 4 and Spider-Man's future in the MCU, because Tom Holland has just come out and confirmed a bunch of Alex Perez's scoops without directly saying what he means exactly. He's getting very good at doing interviews. As we know, Tom Holland in the past has spoilt stuff and leaked stuff on purpose. It's called a work in wrestling terms. He's done it marketing-wise, where most people believe he actually spoilt stuff. He didn't. He was doing it on purpose. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? What you have, you're around here. Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture-based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know how freaking excited are you for that moment when Spider-Man Peter Parker sees Mr. Doctor Doom, thinks it's Iron Man from the multiverse because they've got the same face. That scene is going to be pretty iconic. It's the most obvious scene that we are going to get. Why? Because they're very good friends in real life. Also, check us out on Instagram at WushJu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also check us out on Twitter, WushJuG. Right, let's get into it. So recently, Tom Holland was on a podcast interview on the Rich Roll podcast, and he revealed quite a lot. He revealed he recently read a draft of the script for Spider-Man 4 movie. It needs work, but the writers are doing a great job. Variety confirmed in September that the Shang-Chi Legend of the Rings director, filmmaker Dustin Daniel Cretton is in early talks to direct the sequel, taking over Holland franchise from his trilogy. So as we know, every Spider-Man movie absolutely bangs. So Variety's done an article on this podcast with a headline, Tom Holland read Spider-Man 4 script was on there and says it's excellent, but needs work fit in sequel MCU timeline is a challenge we're facing. Why is it a challenge? Well, because they have to start shooting next year, and it's got to fit in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So it's interesting how Tom Holland is basically a pinnacle feature of the MCU now. And it's cool because he's not just making movies. He's not just playing Spider-Man to play Spider-Man. He went on to say, Holland noticed that he owes it to the Marvel fans to deliver the best version of what the next chapter for Spider-Man looks like. He's not one of these actors just doing it for a cash cow. He's playing the role because he actually likes playing Spider-Man. He went on to say, one of the things is that with Marvel, your films is a small cog in a larger machine about Spider-4 development. The machine has got to keep running. You have to make sure you can fit into the timeline at the right time to benefit the bigger picture. The bigger picture being the multiverse and Avengers 5 and 6. That's one of the challenges we're facing. The time in which we need to get it done is a tall order, but definitely achievable with the people we have working on it now, Marvel. Yeah, so basically they need to shoot Spider-Man 4 next year before they shoot Avengers Doomsday, so on and so forth. And it's actually a pretty interesting podcast. It's long, so I'm not going to put it in this video. But you actually listen to it. Tom Holland's basically saying, when he joined Marvel, he was a yes man. He basically had to do whatever they said. But now he's finished his initial contract. He has a much bigger say in what happens as Spider-Man, as a greater character in the MCU. And he actually has input into what he wants to do as a character. And he can say yes and no to a certain degree. Let's be honest here. He hasn't got rights over Spider-Man. But he has input in what the character does, which is absolutely fantastic. He went to say, we have a creative and we have a pitch and a draft, which is excellent, Holland added. It needs work, but the writers are doing a great job. I read it 3 weeks ago and it really lit a fire in me. Zondaya, we sat down, read it together, and we were bouncing around the living room like this is a real movie worthy of the fans. Now, this sounds to me like Tom Holland obviously understands it's got to have multiversal concept. But this sounds to me that he wants to keep it grounded, street level at the same time, which is probably why we're hearing the rumors from Alex Perez, the most reliable insider, saying it's still going to have street level aspects. But obviously, because we're in a multiversal saga, like I keep saying, Marvel needs to stop these movies like Captain America 4, or if it is Captain America 4, make it multiversal. Every movie coming out between now and 2027, to a certain degree, has to be multiversal. And also the fact, I know they're in a relationship and they live together, the fact that Zendaya's read it basically tells you that she's coming back. Obviously, it goes and say Peter Parker, played by Tom Holland, has played the role in Homecoming in 2017, Far From Home in 2019, and No Way Home in 2021. He also appeared in Avengers Endgame, so on and so forth. The ending in 2021, Spider-Man No Home, saw Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange, cast a spell that caused the entire world to forget who Peter Parker is, which also included his two closest friends, MJ, his girlfriend, and Ned. The up-and-coming Spider-Man 4 would presumably begin with this dilemma. Yeah, they're pretty much going to squash that, to be fair. And the rest of the article just went on to say stuff that we already know. But there is a lot of tidbits here that have been kind of sub-quoted and stuff around the internet. So Sony and Marvel Studios are all in on more MCU Spider-Man, which is the most profitable character in the MCU currently. So let's not pretend that's actual news. Tom and Kevin are actively working in the writer's room, which is cool. Tom wants to keep being Spider-Man forever. But what is interesting is Tom Holland wants Miles Morales to appear, which everyone does. That would be so cool when it actually happens. His wording was like this: "I love to do for a young kid what Robert Downey Jr. did for me," which is cool because Miles is a massive character in the Marvel comic book universe, if you want to say it like that. It's also interesting. He said he's been talking to Robert Downey Jr. a lot recently. Also said he knew about the Doctor Doom stuff, which is obvious. As I said in the prologue, Tom Holland never spoiled. He didn't leak anything. It was a work. He's an actor. Actors can act, you know, in real life and pretend they're doing stuff. Kind of like when Mark Ruffalo streamed the start of Thor Ragnarok. It's all a work. It's all a ruse. If you don't believe that, then you got to understand actors literally act for a living. You know, it makes absolute sense. And yeah, it's so cool that most of these rumors are being true. But like I said, Alex Perez is a pretty reliable source. And Tom Holland basically confirmed the whole multiversal stuff. And that's the massive issue they're having. And they've got a time frame because they've obviously got a script that's pretty much ready to go, but it needs to fit in with whatever's happening in Avengers Doomsday and whatever's happening in Secret Wars. Now, it can't just pick up where it left off in 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home, because we're in a multiversal saga. So it's going to have to pick up somewhere. And based on what he has said in that recent podcast, I now believe that Robert Downey Jr., Doctor Doom, will appear in Spider-Man 4. Why? Because Sony freaking loves that, and Sony wants to make as much money as possible. And when you get Robert Downey Jr. into a Spider-Man movie, as he was in Far From Home, it ends up making more money, and it makes Robert Downey Jr. more money because he's so freaking expensive to have that it's justified with the box office numbers, I guess you could say. So it is cool that that's a confirmation that Spider-Man 4 is definitely coming. They haven't officially confirmed it yet, but Tom Holland basically did. He basically confirmed Zendaya is in it, basically confirmed it's multiversal, but the issue is he's trying to keep it grounded. And that's my assumption based on what Tom Holland said. And he's basically confirming it. Most of these rumors that are coming from Alex Perez, that most of the rumors about, you know, Venom coming over to the MCU, the King in Black, the whole multiversal concept. And we're going to find out literally next week. We get Venom: The Last Dance comes out. And I still believe that there will be a scene with Peter Parker in it. I still believe that because we know Tom Hardy filmed in New York as Eddie Brock. Is he just going to be looking for Peter Parker? But why not actually have him meet Peter Parker? That would make much more sense, and it would be better for the fandom. And it will also make people watch it, or if not watch it, you'll have people actually actively looking for stuff about Venom 3. Because the better Venom 3 does, the better Spider-Man 4 does. They are basically intertwined with each other, and we already know that. So like always, guys, let me know how freaking excited are you? What do you want in Spider-Man 4? I know people want it to be grounded. I know you want to build up to a Norman Osborn kind of storyline, but that will be later after Spider-Man 4, after Secret Avengers, most likely. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarsStew, check us out on Twitter, WarsStewG, and I will catch you in the next video very soon. Catch you later.